Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to my channel, The Gifted Griot. I am here doing my first inaugural reading, public reading anyway, on YouTube. Thank you very much for those of you who are drawn here and those who join out of curiosity or whatever kind of motivation that you have that has brought you here. Um, as I said, this is my inaugural, my first YouTube channel. I have been reading for probably about 3-4 years at this point. But it is a skill that I picked up, tarot in particular, but I've definitely been an intuitive and spiritually connected and gifted person my entire life. Y'all excuse me. I'm my sage. I'm trying to cleanse off my area. Because I am doing this publicly on YouTube, my assumption is there's going to be some people drawn here who have some underdeveloped and self-centered, um, self-centered interests and desires, and so I am cleansing out my space, cleansing my cards, and protecting my space and my energy as I enter into this process. Because to me, spiritual cleansiness is it cleansiness? Spiritual hygiene, spiritual cleansiness is of the utmost importance. I'm going to do a general reading today, just to start off. And then my goal is to kind of go where I'm led to go. I don't really like too much, which is odd. I don't really like too much order and structure, although I kind of need it. So there's going to be a bit of organized chaos here. I cannot yet tell you what my platform and format is going to be. So I'm going to just do, what I'm led to do. I enjoy reading and connecting, and I hope that you find something here that is beneficial, something that you can use to ground yourself, to connect to your own inner guidance, your own spirit team, your own ancestors. I'm very, very big on ancestor veneration. Even though I'm here at this particular altar, I have a larger altar where my people sit. And anytime I do readings for anyone, I definitely light my candles there and welcome them in, as they are part of the entities who allow me to get the information that I get and that I bring to others and that I will ultimately be bringing to you. So before I get started, I just want to talk about the decks that I'm using today. I am using an oracle deck by Mystic Rebel. It is by the Merhipsy, but it's called the Mystic Rebel here. Hopefully you can see this because I am recording and I don't really know what it's going to look like, but we're going to go with it. But this is an oracle deck that I really, really enjoy using. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artwork and pictures. I'm also using my oracle deck, one of my favorite oracle decks, by Grandma Baby's Apothecary. It is the Black Gold Lenormand, her second edition deck. This deck came out this year, and it's a little larger than her first deck. I have both, but I'm going to use the second edition today, Grandma Baby's Black Gold Lenormand 2. And for my tarot deck, I am using Dust to Onyx by Courtney Alexander. It is also a very, very beautiful deck. Courtney Alexander and Grandma Baby's Apothecary are two Black female artists and card creators, and I very, very much enjoy and appreciate the guidance that I get through these cards. So without further ado, we are going to get started. I have no idea where this is going to go, so we're just going to go with it. I'm going to invite my ancestors in with me today, and I ask that you all walk with me on this first journey and help me to bring out the information that could be useful and will be useful and most beneficial for a larger audience. And I pray that those who need to hear something from this particular reading, those who find comfort in the energy created here, I pray that they are welcomed and drawn into this space. And I pray that they all come with open minds, open hearts, and calm and humble energy. And I want to say it is a very, very respectful, very reverent space here. So please, under no circumstances should you come over here and cut up. I cuss quite a bit, so I'm going to attempt not to. But there might be some that slips out here and there. Pay that no mind focusing on the message and take what resonates with you. I know a lot of readers that I hear say this, but it's very much true. Everything may not be for you. There may be some parts that apply to you, some parts that don't. Only take what resonates. Um, it's also important for me to impart to let y'all know that I'm Southern. So one of our sayings is you chew the meat and spit out the bones. So whatever is here for you, take it. Whatever isn't, leave it. These readings will be here. So you can come back to them as needed. But let's get it. So I'm going to start with my Oracle, my Mystic Rebel Oracle, just for some general guidance. And to see where we're going to start, I'm interested to see how this goes. So I will be shuffling here. I enjoy shuffling, and I think it adds a little element of authenticity here. I got some stuff already popping out. So as we get started, I'm going to ask y'all to give me some general guidance on a general theme for this particular reading. And these here are two of my grandmother's handkerchiefs. She's passed on, but I keep her with me. She is one of my primary guides and ancestors. So she rocks with me on a daily, honestly, and all throughout these readings. So come on in here, lady, and let us know what is going to be beneficial to us. Let me get that together. That's going to bother me a little bit, but we're going to keep going. We're going to press on. Amen. All right. First card we have is Listen. Listen is a card that speaks to, one, just open-mindedness. Two, open-mindedness to the word heeding comes to mind. Heeding something that's being told, something that you've been told before, a theme that's constantly come up multiple times, something that the universe, spirit, your ancestors, whomever you believe in, the Most High, is trying to get your attention on. We might be missing something. We might be overlooking something. We might be, it may be a situation where either on a semi-annual basis or a regular interval of time, a thing, a thought, a feeling, an idea comes back up to you, and for whatever reason, we move away from it. We might downplay it. We might doubt ourselves. We may be too afraid to confront it and face it. So when this card comes out, Spirit is asking you to listen, to take heed, and to obey, but in a loving manner. None of the energy that comes out from your ancestors or from any of your guides or God even comes out in a harsh, judgmental manner. When your people come through to you, it is from a place of love and protection and guidance. Now, there are some times that they got to get with you, right? But that's because there might be something really, really important down in the core of what they're trying to get you to experience. And you might have to go through a very big breakdown and metamorphosis to get to it. Or you might be a little hard-headed. So the next couple of rounds, on the merry-go-round gonna get a little rougher. But here, just listen. Spirit wants you to listen and just keep an open mind. The next card I have is Worry Not, and you are on the right path. Worry Not is a card that often comes out when I read and just really brings with it a sense of just calming and brings down all the heat, all the temperature, all the anxiety, all the worry. And especially in spaces where things may not be clear, we might be misreading some information, we might be overthinking a situation, we might be so focused on moving and doing because that is all we're used to, that we don't take time to listen and slow down. And so Spirit is asking that not only that you listen, right? Listen to the words that they are saying to you. Worry not. You are on the right path. Again, there might be doubts, there may be naysayers, there may be people who do not understand the changes that you are making. Worry not, fret not. If you look at this picture here, it's a beautiful card. She has her hand out as if she's leading you, as if she knows the way, almost like a big sister or a loving big cousin is the energy that she gives me. Somebody that's gone before you. So there might be someone who has lost an elder sister or a big cousin, somebody that you've looked up to. And you might be going through a period of your life where things just might not make sense. And so that person, that energy is coming in, lovingly looking down at you, almost like she knows you very well. She understands whatever your fears are, whatever your worries are, and she came just to hold your hand and reassure you that you are on the right path. All will be okay. Um, Pathways always bring to mind for me crossroads. In the spirit of Elegba, uh, the Yoruba deity of the crossroads. And the message of the crossroads talks about decisions. Typically, when you're at a crossroad, whether you go forward or backwards or left or right, you stand at the center of this crossroad with a decision to make, with different alternatives presented before you. And so you take a bit of a pause, and perhaps at this crossroad, before you make a decision, your ancestor spirit is asking you to listen. First and foremost, listen to your inner guidance, that which is not disrupted or driven by anxiety, but that comes in really clear, really sure, really firm footed in the center of your body. A lot of times I'll feel it like straight in my chest, where among all the noise and different stuff that's happening around me, that little thing, and again, if it's that thing that comes back around multiple times, it comes in really, really firm, really quiet, really sure, and there is no anxiety attached to it. There is no worry attached to it. Inside, in my chest, there may be some external things that make me move away from that point, but that decision, the right path for me and me alone, that comes in very clear sometimes. Sometimes you might just be, sometimes even when it comes in clear, you may not know the entire path or how it's going to work out. This cousin, this loving family member, this ancestor, this energy is here asking you to trust them as they guide you along the path that you can't see clearly. And so there's some decisions ahead of you. You might have some input coming in from a bunch of different places. It's important to listen only to what people are saying so that you can determine whether or not They are vested in your best interest, in your highest good, and in your overall happiness. Because everybody who gives you advice may not mean you the best, or whether it's intentional or not. But there might be somebody around who unintentionally, I'm sorry, not unintentionally, but intentionally wants you to listen to them and take their advice. But what they are telling you does not sit well in your spirit. So listen to the words that they're saying, but um you might feel obligated to take their advice. This might be a mother or family whose opinion you hold in high regard, someone who has always been in a place and occupied a space in your life as an authority. And this is a time, what's coming in is this is a time for you to be the authority on your life. This is a time for you to make decisions from a very centered and grounded place, listening first to your inner guidance, asking your ancestors, even if you've never practiced any type of ancestor veneration, there are loved ones that we have, some related to us and some not, but someone around us and around you they were a trusted confidant and friend and loved one before they transitioned. And when they left, you felt a little disconnected and a little lost. They are coming back in. Again, telling you not to worry, that you're on the right path. Everything that you've gone through that's gotten you here, the losses, the hurt, the pain, the discomfort, the leaving behind of people, the leaving behind of a bunch of different things. You're on the right path, and worry not. Listen to yourself. Listen to what people are telling you so that you can really and truly understand who they are beneath the veneer, beneath the titles that they hold in your life, beneath the pomp and circumstance. Get all the way down to the core of what is being said and whether or not it aligns and matches with what you know is true for yourself, right? And the bottom of the deck here is a no. But a no to what? That's not necessarily clear yet. Underneath no, we have trust your intuition. So it's making me think that whoever outside of you is giving you advice, Spirit is saying no. Listen to and trust your intuition. Nobody knows you the way you know you. I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care if they're your mama, your sister, your coworker, your boss, your mentor. Everybody is placed here to walk their own individual path. And every individual here has a connection to the Most High, to Spirit, to God. And I say often that you don't need an intermediary. You don't need a middleman to connect to Spirit, to connect to God, because God has blessed each and every one of us with a part of themselves and made us in their image. And if we are made in the image of God, God is also within us. And so we can listen to that inner guidance because that is the essence, the soul, the spirit, the highest self. In Yoruba, it's called your Ori. That is the divine's breath and essence of themselves in you. And so trust that, listen to that. So this no is here. I'm going to get some clarifiers. This no is here. So it has something to do with the crossroads and the decisions ahead of you. Trust your intuition as you move forward. So I'm going to do my tarot and get some clarifying messages here. And let's see if tarot kind of adds some levels. These cards are really thick, so it's super, super hard. Lord have mercy. Okay, y'all bear with me. I'm gonna tell y'all now. I struggle when things are doing something different than what I asked. But I'm going to continue on. I'm going to press on. And we're going to keep moving. So, Medea, I would hate to move you out the way, but if you're going to cut up like this, we're going to have to scoot you over. Perhaps that's the whole point. As I was setting up my altar, no, you didn't. Just cut off. Did my camera cut off? No, it didn't. I don't understand what just happened, but we're going to look at two, Brutus. Why did you cut off? I don't understand. Baby, the whole thing just cut off. It's a new light. It's a new system. Y'all bear with me because I have no idea what just occurred. But we're going to get through it. I unplugged it. It really don't want to come back on. I am too through. Y'all ain't worth it. But look, we're going to keep going. I'm going to cut this light on. And wrong light. And we're gonna make it do. Matter of fact, hopefully it's still clear. I am. Listen, Amazon. Y'all not finna sell me on something that don't work. Did it overheat? Like, I'm a little perturbed right now, but I'm gonna keep moving. Y'all legit just quit on me. I am appalled. I am utterly appalled. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. And you know what? I'm gonna move this out the way because what we're not gonna do is suffer any more interruptions. I'm gonna just put that right on down here. We're gonna scoot some stuff up because we're gonna keep going with what we need to do. So anyway, as I was saying, I saw the death card out here. As I was shuffling, I also see the sun. Death is nothing to be afraid of. One, because it's a natural part of life, but the death card in particular does not always, and usually doesn't, but sometimes that be what it is, does not refer to death in the literal sense. Death is, in the circle of life, a transition from one phase to the next. Anytime the death card kind of pops out or shows up, it's letting you know that there's some changes that are being made. And anytime something dies or something leaves or something transitions, it is doing so in order to make space for what is coming in. And, if your hands are full and you don't ever put anything down, well, then you don't have any space to receive. So death is there to give us to kind of progress us through, get us to go through the process of growth. It's seasonal, Your springtime, which is where we are, we just entered spring, coming out of winter. And so in order for the trees and flowers and the vegetation stuff around us to bloom, had to do some shedding, had to get rid of some stuff because there's no space left on the trees before fall and winter to bloom anything new, right? So our listing card is clarified by our Ten of Gourds. Ten of Gourds represents, I'm gonna roll it back. Gourds is the same as gourds in this deck is the same as your cups. So your Ten of Cups, Ten of Gourds represents emotions, but it represents the fullest expression and experience of emotion. So all the support, the love, the kindness, the joy, the validation, the belonging, family in all its form, self-love, friendship love, familial love. But how can I say this? It's so much more than just the way we typically view love. It is almost like a fully sensing, like you experience, there's going to be some love coming in or some experience where all your senses are awakened and you feel, you smell, you taste, um, you hear, what are all your senses? Your sight, you see love in its fullest expression. You see emotional fulfillment, um, all that you desire, all that you need, and more. Like this is the epitome of a cup runneth over. And hmm, when you are poured into, this is a period of just being poured into for some of you or someone out there, myself included. You have given and have often given so much of yourself to the environment around you, the people around you, in an attempt to show your hand, show your own trustworthiness, show that you are willing and able to just give of yourself freely, hoping, praying that other people pour back into you the same way that you pour back out. But you've given to so many different individuals who did not, in fact, pour that same energy, that love, that support, that kindness, that joy, that exuberance, that spiritual connectedness. They didn't pour it all back into you. So this notion of listening, there is the song that comes to mind is a Kirk Franklin. I think it was from his album. Shoot, I don't know. Don't get me the line, but it's from his old school albums from like back in the 90s, where it's a song called "There's a Blessing in the Storm." So there's going to be a message in coming in, or there has been a message that's come in that is particularly tied to something in this message, and it might be folded up a little bit. Message that they want you to block out all of this noise to really and truly hear, and that message itself is directly related to hope and in I don't want to say faith, but like it is there to assure you that everything that you have given out into the universe, everything that you have poured out in earnest and in good faith and genuinely, all the kindness and the well wishes and the good intentions and covering that you gave out to people, they watched, they saw, they heard, and they are sending that back to you. However, before I say however, it's there. It's yours. They are giving it to you, right? It doesn't go anywhere, right? However, the pathway you choose to take, whether it's the one that others have encouraged you to take, or it's the one that you know internally, deep, deep, deep down inside. My left palm is itching, so I have some money coming. But deep, deep, deep down inside, the one you know you should take, the decision that you should make. The pathway to this depends on, let me see, all roads lead back to this, right? The pathway you choose, however, may prolong you walking into this awareness, right? Um, it's you can't miss this because this is owed to you. This is here, one, because your ancestors love you immensely and they know you and they know you well, and they've seen you work throughout your entire lifetime, so that they know that you're genuine. They know that you have been through some stuff. They know that you have been hurt and you have been depleted here, and that is not how we are supposed to go through life. Um, but that's not always the message we get from the people closest to us who benefit from us always constantly pouring out our stuff. However, Spirit is going to pour back into you so much that your cup is going to run over. And those around you will be blessed and benefit. Yes, they're going to be blessed, right? Because you are blessing. But they're going to benefit just from your excess, just from the stuff that splashes out and spills over the side. You are no longer going to be required to empty yourself out at people's feet. You are no longer going to be the word showing reverence to the folks here who actively and intentionally deplete you. You're not going to need to pour libations out to the folks that's walking around. Libations go to the people that are transitioned. That's when you pour out a little for your homies, or you pour out a little water, or some sort of beverage to honor those that have transitioned on. You've been pouring out your best. You've been casting your pearls upon swine. And I'm going to tell you now, I don't go to church enough, but anymore. But I grew up in a church. My grandmother had us in there. So I'm very well versed in these words. And it's familiar to me. But, put all of that aside. You ain't got to be no Christian. You ain't got to practice. You ain't got to see the inside of a church to connect to your center and your spirit. Because again, there is no need for an intermediary between your relation and your connection to Most High, to the Creator. So anyway, people around you are going to benefit just by the excess because that's how much is coming into you. Listen to what they have coming into you, because you might inadvertently, unintentionally prolong this gift, prolong this blessing. You might add a couple days to your journey, or you might add a couple more years to your journey, or you might add some additional lessons. And look, there's no judgment in that, because sometimes the blessings that are awaiting us, we may not be prepared to receive, especially if we are going to just take all of this beauty and this blessing and this abundance and pour it right back out at the feet of the folks who don't honor us, who encourage us and demand us to listen to them over ourselves. They don't want you wasting this. And again, it's endless, right? But they don't want you, if you do get delayed along your journey, know that it's because they want you to really and truly grasp and hold on to this notion that this is yours, right? It's yours first. It's yours second. It's yours third, so forth and so on. And a lot of times, some of us grow up thinking that we have to, again, pay our tithes, if you will, to the people around us, to these physical spaces and these physical beings outside of ourselves, when we ourselves are made in the image of the Creator and also need to pay homage to and honor. I shouldn't touch that. Honor ourselves as well. So again, that's a really long-winded message, but I think it's important to say. So let me make sure I just keep moving on, because I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna do whatever it is y'all tell me to do, because I ain't in charge here. Can I get a card for worry not? Please and thank you. And then if I need to clarify anything, I'll go in and do that. Can I get a card for worry not? Ooh, all right. Y'all gave me a few. All right, all right, all right, all right. Here I've got the Four of Staffs and the Two of Staffs. Baby, let me tell y'all, they're not playing. So staffs are the same as your wands. So this is a Four of Wands, Four of Staff. Two of Staff. Two of Staffs absolutely unequivocally relate to the crossroads, relates to decisions. And your staffs, your wands are action oriented, movement oriented cards. So they relate specifically to what one does or what one does. It's energy. It's energy, it's movement, heat, all of that kind of stuff. So worry not. So again, it's and I got goosebumps. Worry not. This loving ancestor, this energy that wants to see you win, that wants to help you cross over, not to the other side of life. You ain't going to glory. However, to transition, and again, that's what that death card that I saw as I was shuffling. Death is simply a transition from one phase to the next. And it's the handing off of a baton from the old you, the old experiences, the hurt, the pain, the discomfort, the learning of lessons. It feels like y'all are at a place where some of y'all got it and y'all have gone through a bunch of different levels of this particular lesson, right? And let me say that healing, growth, development, evolution isn't like going through college where you only got to go through 4 years and you out, right? However, you can take the you can take the how do I want to say it? You look at how you go through classes, right? Let's say you a chemistry major. I was not. So I'm talking at the side of my neck, but just go with it. Let's say you're a chemistry major and you want to grow up and be I don't know, biochemist, right? So you start off in college, those of you who have gone, you taking your entry level courses, your reading, your math, your English, all that kind of stuff. Second year, you're gonna take your 200 level courses. So you might start getting into like, the introduction of your core classes, the chemistry stuff. So you might take a little biology. Now, granted, you can take that in level 1, but you're gonna take a little more advanced level. So you're going back over the same subject, but at a higher skill level because you've passed and learned and mastered that entry level position, entry level information. So you go to your 200 level. Your third year in college, you're hitting your 300 level. You're still talking about chemistry. You're still talking about biology, but now it's more advanced. And so you're taking and building on each one of these levels, but you're going back over it because there's so much depth and so much expertise that's going to come to you from this journey. So sometimes you might have to you might have to come to the same crossroad, but the lessons and the the lessons are going to be more advanced because you've gotten some new skill sets. And so now you got to get some more, or you got to figure out how to really open them things up and, bust it wide open and use your, sport mode or your super speed or whatever it is. Because you may not know all the amenities that come with these levels of advancement. So I don't know why I came and went to that direction, but it's there. Somebody needed it. Anyway, worry not, though, because this energy is here to be with you as you transition from one phase to the next. I hear don't look at life and your journey in a way where, I've gone through this. I shouldn't have to go through it anymore. I shouldn't have to feel this anymore. Why are these things lingering? That's going to come up. But again, this energy is here lovingly reaching their hand out to you. They also want you to lovingly transition. Be very gentle with yourself as you go through these experiences, because you'll notice that each time you go through it, um, you get better and better at it. You might spend less time ruminating or just stuck in spinning your wheels. So worry not as you go through more decisions, more pathways, because you're going to continue to come through crossroads. It's just merely decisions on which path you're going to take, right? And again, note you're on the right path. All of those paths, regardless of which direction you move, all of them, of course, lead back to this 10 of gourds, your complete emotional fulfillment. And they also lead to stability. Four of staffs relates to stability, because if you have 4 pillars, the 4 corners of whatever your structure is are stable. You can equally distribute the weight. You've got these 4 women here with these 4 staffs. Hopefully you can see that. But the 4 of staffs also relates to celebration at the, and again, inaugural, right? If you think about somebody doing a red ribbon cutting ceremony, like for a structure, the structure is sound, it's built, it's stable, it's a stable foundation. Let's celebrate the building and establishing of this stable foundation. So it recognizes a lot of work that's going in, um, a lot of energy that's going in, perhaps a lot of struggle, but it's a moment of celebration. So there's going to be, regardless of what path you take, worry not. Regardless of how long it takes you to get there, worry not. Regardless of whether or not you can see the things before you, listen to spirit, listen to yourself, and trust that trouble don't last always. Like everything is impermanent. It's There has to be balance. There has to be light. There has to be dark. There has to be up. There has to be down. There has to be happy. There has to be sad. So trust. And this is a message for me as well. Trust that the sadness that you've gone through, the immense pain, the changes and almost the deconstruction and destruction that you've gone through, there is another side, and you're being walked through the threshold so that you can get to the other side. And regardless of the pathways um you take, they're still with you. They're still guiding you. Stability, security, family. Your 4 of staffs also talks about like your family. Sometimes it relates to marriage or a solid relationship or a solid network of people, a structure, a place where you belong, which is something that many of us have struggled to connect to. It's there and you are going to arrive there. Just keep going. Just keep going. In the words of Dora, just keep swimming. And you are on the right path. Please, can you give me a card for you are on the right path? And keep in mind, these are very general readings. I'm saying it to y'all and to myself so that I don't make this unnecessarily long. Because I want to kind of hit it and quit it. I can't have it all right next to this doggone microphone. Y'all excuse me. I'm going to get it together. It's my first one, and it ain't got to be perfect, right? They didn't ask for perfection. You are on the right path. So in this, in this deck, this card here used to confuse me. I would be like, what does this mean? What am I supposed to do with this? So this deck also comes with the book. I thought about before I sat down, just kind of reading from it because it has so much information. And sometimes I doubt my own kind of understanding of things, right? But this card is all black. It's the Onyx card. And when you think of, and when I think of Blackness, and again, I'm gonna take it biblical, but again, I'm a bit of a heathen soul. But you know what? It's gonna be something mixed in here for somebody. So I'm gonna say it anyway. You know, God don't choose the qualified. He qualifies the chosen. Amen. Um, this card makes me think of the book of Genesis, right? And for those people who ain't go to church, the Big Bang Theory, right? There's this darkness that precedes a spark where all of life is just kind of instantly brought forth. And darkness, as in death, right? It's a blank slate. It is an opportunity to begin again. It is an opportunity to literally start over fresh and recreate whatever comes to mind. You get to be the author of this story going forward. There's a past, right? There's a backstory. But when you take complete authority over your life and over your decisions and over your direction, you get to write what happens here. You have guides, you have information coming in. There's stability, there's community, there's celebration, there's recognition. There's a whole bunch pouring back into you. And this is, to me, the same as like dark, fertile earth, right? Just freshly tilled, um, just waiting for some seeds to be planted. This is to me, this brings like a feeling of like excitement and anticipation because you don't know what's ahead. And so, yeah, the path might not be completely illuminated. And that's scary, especially going into the dark. If you think about being a child, some kids, mine included, are very frightful of the dark because you can't see everything. And you're protected, you're guided, and you can trust your own intuition. Remember, this one came out. And if you look at her card, she has this light beaming out from her forehead that pierces this darkness. And again, your intuition comes directly from spirit. And I'm not even gonna act like I didn't see that new love card up under there. So somebody being messy and free will, honey. You know what? I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it. But as I was saying, you're on the right path. All roads lead back to emotional fulfillment. Your 10 is the ending that that marks the transition from old to new. Because right after your 10 cards, you go right back into your ace. You're brand new. And your new opportunity, your new love. Hello, somebody. Baby, you know what? Your new love. Because right after this 10 of gourds comes the ace of gourds, which is new love, right? New self-love, God-given, spiritually rich, like straight handed to you. This is the gift, right? New love. And again, may be romantic, might be platonic, might be familial, may just very well be your own recreation and like you writing you into your story and you getting to build all the parts that make you you, and you sitting there and getting to appreciate it without all the noise, getting to turn over every stone and looking at all the different parts that make you you and loving that completely and listening and being directly connected to spirit and trusting your intuition. You can trust that what you see of yourself is true and honest, the truest and honest representation of yourself that you are ever going to get. This is a very much internal process, right? There are external parties who are helpers and assistants, and part of the support in family and group that we need to ground ourselves here, but what's coming out of this is very much yours. It's yours. And Spirit wants you to know that as I give you back to yourself, you must promise, you must commit not to go back into your old patterns of giving yourself away free, passing yourself out like samples at Costco. Baby, you got to reserve you for you first. Drink from your own cup. Like, this is almost like a blank slate. Before you hand your blank board over to somebody else and ask them to write you up, to draw you up, they are imploring you to listen to your intuition and come up with your own rendering of yourself so that you can see it in the best and brightest and highest of light, and that you can get that immediate feedback that pours in the love, that says, yes, those eyes are beautiful. Yes, that heart is beautiful. Absolutely. Keep going. Draw some more. Add some more to it. Throw a little curly hair over here. Put a little nail polish over there. Yeah, put a little more booty right there. Like, yes, love you and see you in your most righteous and purest light. Um, Trust your intuition. Don't take what everybody else. Put that down. Put that down, because we've transitioned from all that old stuff and we didn't took everybody's advice on how to do this and how to do that, how to stay here, how to leave there. They need to get busy with their own. But whether they do or not, that's not your business, right? You are your business. This brand new start is your business. What are you gonna do in this new um in this new season? What are you going to plant? What are you going to create? Because what you create is what's going to come, and Spirit is just going to keep giving you more and more to add to it. Doesn't come without trouble, doesn't come without stress, doesn't come without those old feelings that are deeply embedded in us. We've transitioned, we've walked from one phase to the next, but there are parts of that that still remain with us. We are still one person, but now we are taking the reins here and we get to create what happens over here. So you're on the right path. Like, this is yours. All paths lead to you having you. And as you take a firm grasp of yourself and account of all the things that make you you, that balance you out, right? Because it's gonna be some stuff on here that others might have truthfully told us ain't the best qualities. But guess what? It's you. Lovingly accept that as a part of you. And also, because I'm a huge proponent of working on those things for you that you deem necessary to move in order to get here. Listen to your intuition on those things that need some restructuring, right? Some refortification, right? On where to pivot. You know what? I might need to watch my mouth. Like I said here, I typically cuss up a storm. Do you hear me? Hopefully I'm recording. I am. I cuss up a storm. Oh, I got a dirty mouth. And I love it. I am looking forward to thoroughly becoming somebody's dirty old grandmama. And that's for me and the loved ones that I have in my personal life. However, here, I sat down and I said at the very beginning of this video, I am making a concerted effort not to cuss. And that's today. This inaugural one. I can't make no promises because I'm a little, I'm gonna go back down here now. This other card came out here that say free will. I get to decide, right? Joy up under that, baby. Y'all gonna free will. I get to decide, right? I get to decide on the path that I take, just like y'all get to decide on the path that y'all take. Today, I decided to take a little heat off my language, and if that ain't what came in, that ain't what came. If that ain't what came in, and I don't know what to tell you, but it's what came in. And so, part of you listening to where you need to pivot, where you need to turn, what you need to put down, what you need to store away, what you can slough off of your old, is absolutely for some going to assist in you bringing in, calling in, recognizing. I'm about to preach to myself a little bit. Recognizing new love. Because that's very much in this Ten of Cups, Ten of Gourds, and this Four of Gourds card. Very much a part of it. And you get to decide whether you take it or whether you don't. And a message that's been coming up to me very frequently is no matter what decision you make, this Ten of Cups is yours. That came out first. Listen, it's yours. So if you decide to take the offering that comes up, or if you don't really clear the hurdle before you miss that opportunity, worry not, right? Because there's love ain't gonna be without you, right? It's looking for you. It's looking for you. You've given it, you got it coming back in. So, and again, very specific message on this topic, in that if you miss one bus, baby, another one gonna come in about 15, 20 minutes. It's all right. Maybe the timing wasn't right. There's so much abundance and so much available again. It's all there. It's gonna be another one. Don't even fret. Like, don't beat yourself up. You all right. Worry not. Right? Free will, you get to decide. This is very much an Empress card for me. Empress, Emperor, you get to decide. So long as it brings you joy, so long as it lights you up. There's been enough sadness. And again, sadness is a part of it, right? We've made so much space for sadness that sometimes we don't know how to do or connect to nothing else. You must light that fire, that passion, the things that spark you up to bring in some joy. Resolution and healing. This card came out for me earlier this week. Resolution is a resolve. How something has completed. Whether it completed in a way that you desired or whether it turned out much worse and much different and not at all what you imagined. There's some resolve to be had about how it all ended. And then healing, loving on yourself. That's that self-love. Tending to yourself. It's giving me very much the star card where you can just kind of go into this cocoon just with all your defenses down, alone, solitude, but be taken care of. You get bathed and you get tended to, you get loved on, you get fed everything that you need to nourish you and nurse you back to full health is present. However it happens, it happened. And there's still room and love and healing and faith. And as this card came up for me this week, it brought to mind the Serenity Prayer. And it says, and it took me a minute because I done told you I don't go to church enough. And I did not remember this well enough to be trying to recite it, but I went and looked it up. And it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So courage, absolutely a wand's energy, courage, passion, adventurous. Wisdom, very much like you get it. It comes from source. It comes from ancestors. It comes from those who've lived lives before us. It comes from someplace that we can't really put our hands on. Sometimes you just know things. As my son says, I just know things. Trust your intuition. That's where your wisdom comes from. Serenity is just worry not, right? Worry not. You can't change it. That's all right. It's all right. Have some resolve about it. It is what it is. And I used to hate that saying, but it is what it is. Let's dust ourselves off, love ourselves up, and keep moving forward. I feel like I could just keep going on that all day, but I'm going to get ready to close this out. And I'm going to get some final messages from my Black Gold Liniment deck by Grandma Babies Apothecary. And I tell y'all, This is my absolute favorite Oracle deck. It just comes through and it cuts up. And so far, we've been talking about, connecting to our spirits, listening to ourselves, listening to the messages that come in piercingly, sharp and still, putting down worry about what we choose. But listen to yourself. Listen to your innermost guidance and trust that you're on the right path. That every path takes you back to yourself on this side of things. And everything gonna be all right. And I need to see who's at the bottom of my deck there. I'm gonna do that in a second. And y'all give us some parting messages as we close this first reading out. I feel really, really good and really humble about this testimony. For a girl that ain't spent enough time in church since she was little, baby, they show be bringing it up at the kid. It's gonna be a testimony. Your life, your path, the hurdles that you've cleared, the obstacles that you've gotten over, and baby, the rewards that are coming in. You're gonna have a testimony. And it's gonna be something going on that don't make no sense. It's gonna be a lot of folks. And the feeling, right? You might come up against some feelings of doubt, of survival's guilt, right? Because there's some people that didn't make it with you over here. Some things that didn't make it with you. Some things and some people that you love dearly, right? But you got a testimony. Bears about strength. And I'm going to read the book on these because sometimes that one there, she put this doggone deck together and this book together. And if you've never seen or used this particular deck, I want y'all to get something out of it. I definitely want to read from my Dust to Onyx next time because it is also very, very, very rich. And as is this, the cross. I knew it was coming, the cross and the whip at the bottom. Well, no, I was thinking crossroads. And then at the bottom of this deck is the Three of Staffs. I felt that very much as I was talking about the Four of Staffs, something that's coming in on the horizon that has yet to really and fully like appear. It's not all clear, but it's coming in, and it's a lot of good stuff coming in. But it's just for you, and they need you to know that. So testimony is my 27 card. Let's get into it a little bit. Testimony. Here, I'm going to hold this up so that it can be seen. I love the kind of sepia tone of the cards and then the gold writing and the handwriting in it. I mean, these are just beautiful. So in this picture, it's a testimony from singing, trying to make 199 and a half. Trying to make 199 and a half won't do during their collection at a Negro church in Herb County, Georgia. This photo from April 1941, taken by Jack Delano, retrieved from the Library of Congress. Testimony is confirmation. This represents also the Seven of Spades, which is your Seven of Swords, element air. An important message or a long-awaited confirmation is on its way. So our work must be to prepare to receive what's coming. Our prayers have been heard, work affirmed, and action has been taken to move circumstances in our favor. Or this may be the perfect moment to deliver your own message, to share our work and experience with others, what we have learned that we are now eager to tell. What have we learned that we are now eager to tell? What miracles have been laid upon us that multiply when shared? There are some things in this world that can only be kept in the act of giving them away. I'm going to say that one more time. There are some things in this world that can only be kept in the act of giving away, that once released are drawn nearer. This is the time to share such a story. We bless so many when we tell them about the darkness we waded through to shine. And this card here really and truly resonates with me because it's a thing that has constantly come up about sharing, talking about the experiences that I've had and really just digging into this. And so when I do these readings, I've done many of them for myself. And it's important to me that I share what comes to me here. I don't know who it's for. I don't know who it's going to bless, but I am doing what I am um, instructed to do. And you are also being encouraged to share whatever it is, testify, talk about the goodness of God's mercy or whomever, your own. Shoot. This ain't that type of part. It's very open, receptive, open-minded. Because again, listen, open that mind up. You got to get past your own little hang-ups because that ain't going to get you where you need to go. But there's going to be a testimony. Somebody is going to be blessed. Somebody is going to get encouragement. Somebody is going to, somebody else's pathway is going to get lit by your own spark, the inspiration that they get from you. So it's important that we do that you find the courage to speak. But first, you got to listen to yourself. First, you got to trust yourself, right? Bears, a 15 card. Let's get there. And again, everything about this deck is just very well put together, very well made. Bear is about strength. It's a 10 of clubs. Element is fire. Each of us can be a conflict, a contradiction, victimized and victorious. Survivors, each day we are resisting death. That is not a light task. Sometimes we may think we've gone unwitnessed, our magic unseen, but whether or not we have been recognized, we are worthy of recognition. Whether others are willing to respect us, we deserve respect. If we can get it nowhere else, we get it from spirit. We're more than what most people are capable of understanding without certain spiritual insight, without the benefit of seeing through time, lifetimes, worlds. We are each a miracle made manifest, a genocide interrupted. So we must practice detaching our value from how others perceive us and treat us. If we leave everything we know about ourselves up to people, we are giving precious life away. Honey, I done already said it to y'all. This card right here, this is about you writing yourself. This card listing came up telling us that listen to yourself. People have prescribed to us what we should do to get here, how they got over. It ain't about you telling somebody. And this is also a word of caution. As you give your testimony, you give it out there. You put it out there and you let people, because again, we're going to go back to some of this. You let people pick up what they're going to take from it because everybody got free will. Our job is just to speak, to talk about, to bring out of darkness that which we have experienced and lived, and that's there to light another fire. But you let people choose what they're going to do with it. And it's not your job to save other people. It's not your job to go backwards and pull people out of them trenches, baby. Your job is to go ahead. Whoever is going to be inspired or sparked or pick up what you putting down, they going to get it without you trying. Because again, people are going to get blessed just from your excess. You ain't going to have to do a lot because you got a lot coming in. Ooh, baby, when they bring it back around, it just shakes me up a little bit every single time because it's like, to me, I know that's when it's real because y'all saw me sit here and shuffle these cards. I ain't pressing nothing out here to make nothing. But again, I ain't got to convince nobody. You believe, you believe. You don't, you don't. Because y'all got free will too. But baby, it's going to hit who it need to hit. All right? The cross is a 36 card. Y'all pardon me. Cross is about boundaries. Six of clubs. Baby, they giving us fire today. The cross says establishing a relationship with ancestors is fundamental, but putting our own needs last is fatal. Self abandonment is the gravest of spiritual sins. It's a link dissolved in a great chain. Therefore, we must establish and be ready to enforce healthy boundaries in our spiritual relationships, the way we should be doing in all of our relationships, because we should value ourselves and the gift of life enough to believe that. Our dead don't want us to spend the lives they paid for, being miserable and meek. When we have been, have we been voicing our needs? Are we fearful that are we fearful they'll leave if we act too needy or too aggressive? They're just as flawed and just as capable of compassion as we are. And they benefit from us moving with radical dignity. I'm going to say that again. Our ancestors are just as flawed, or these other people, right? Let me go back. Have we been voicing our needs to our ancestors? Are we fearful they'll leave if we act too needy or too aggressive? They're just as flawed and just as capable of compassion as we are. And they benefit from us moving with radical dignity. That's their worry not. They know you already. You can't, they already know you, honey. They done seen you naked. They done seen you at your highest and your lowest. They love you, and anything that they give you is going to be given with love. They're not going to beat you up. They too aspire to be in healthy and loving relationship that doesn't leave one feeling depleted or small. This is why this card's message is to show up for the relationships we need, not the ones we've been conditioned to accept. I'm gonna need some of y'all to play that back because that right there is a word. This card also asks that we look at where we need to be setting better boundaries in all of our relationships. Others might not be as ride or die as ancestors, but baby, that just means they never deserved us. And at the bottom of the deck, I'm gonna do whip, and then we're gonna close this out because it has been quite a journey. And I thank y'all for staying with me so far. Ooh, I'm gonna tell y'all now before I even read it. This one came up. I heard it. I heard the word sacrifice. Um, what was in relation to? I think it was in relation to some of the relationships that you had to let go in order to to go back up, to float back up to the surface and see the light, right? Sacrifice is what came to mind, and I appreciate y'all for that right there. Also, Jack of Clubs, fire. Everyone must pay. Nothing worthwhile or lasting was ever achieved by simply wanting it to be ours. Sacrifice and work move things further than desire alone. So, are we willing to sacrifice our time, our comfort, our convenience, and our privilege for our vision? Or will we sit at the altar, palms open, expecting everything? This card is also about the sacrifices our ancestors made for us to be here today. We are the manifestation of their work and sacrifice. We're the product of their magic. We honor them and the sacrifices they made by also honoring ourselves. Y'all tell me if the messages came all the way back around. I got goosebumps again. Maybe I appreciate y'all's presence. I thank y'all for joining today. Hopefully, y'all got something out of this that you can use. Play it back as many times as needed. Take notes. Take this seriously. Take it seriously. Because what you desire, your full fulfillment, is right here. It's coming. Take it seriously. Listen. Take heed, honey. Take heed. Y'all take care. Be blessed. And I hope everything goes just as you need it to be.